Good morning, children. Welcome back to our geography class. In the last class of the manufacturing industries, we have discussed the definition of industry and the importance of manufacturing industries. And at the end of today's class, you'll be able to learn the conclusion of importance of industries and contribution of industry to national economy and industrial location also. Another important thing of manufacturing industry is that agriculture and industry, both of them, they go hand in hand. They move hand in hand because industries provide machines, fertilizers and pesticides to agriculture, whereas agriculture provides raw material to the agro-based industry. So in this way, they move hand in hand. In the present world of globalization, meaning the process of interaction and integration among people or companies or governments worldwide due to development in transportation and communication technology. Today, whatever we are using in our day to day life, we are very well aware that they are coming from different parts of the world. Right, children? Similarly, whatever is produced in our country is going to different parts of the world. So that's why we are living in a world of globalization. So when we are living in a world of globalization, the goods that we produce should be of par in quality. It means a good quality with those of in the international market. Then only we can able to compete or sell them in the international market. Now, what is the contribution of the industry to the national economy? Actually, the share of industry to national economy is 27%, children. But in this 27%, the share of manufacturing sector is just only 17%. So rest of the 10% actually coming from mining, quarrying, production of electricity and gas. All these are 10%. Children, what is the meaning of quarrying? Quarrying is nothing but removing stones from the surface of the earth. For instance, in Rajasthan we have the hills of marble rock. They cut these rocks like blocks and send them to the marble industry. So this work of removing or cutting of stones from the surface of the earth is called quarrying. In our country, the share of the manufacturing industry is 17% in GDP. But if you take some South Asian countries like Russia, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc., their share is between 25 to 35%. It is much more than India, children. Then, the trend of growth rate in manufacturing over the last decade has been around 7% per annum. So the growth rate is 7%, but we are targeting for 12%. So how are we going to achieve this target, children? So to achieve this target, the government established the National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council, that is NMCC. This has been set up with an objective to achieve this target of 12% growth rate. Now, we shall talk about the setting up of the industry. If we want to set up an industry, what are the factors required for it? First thing is availability of land. Then second comes raw material, because there are many industries which depends on raw materials. So the industries which depends on raw materials must set up their industries near the places where the raw materials are available. For instance, if you take sugar industry, it must be set up near the sugarcane fields because sugarcane is heavy and bulky. When it is being processed, it loses its weight. It means if you take 10 lorries of sugarcane, you just get only 1 lorry of sugar. So it is advisable that this industry should be set up near the availability of raw materials. Same is with the iron and steel industry also. Here also the raw material is heavy and bulky, and when it is processed, children, the weight will come down. The second factor is labor. Industry should be set up at the places where cheap and skilled labor is available. The third and most important factor is capital, children. More is required, so capital is more required to run the industry to meet its expenses. Means if you want to pay the salaries for the employees or for the labor or to pay the electricity bills, etc., you need the capital. And the fourth one, the fourth factor is well developed network of transport children. So transporting the system also most important for the development of industries, setting up of industries. The fifth factor is market children. Actually, in economics, the meaning of market means demand. So we need to establish industries only when there is demand. And the last factor is government policies. If we want to establish any industry, we also need to check the government policies children. For instance, government is in favor of textile industry but not for chemical industry. Though both of these industries generate employment, it is very dangerous to run a chemical industry because of its raw materials, as they are very dangerous also. Any leakage of such raw materials may lead to death of people who are living in that areas. So the chemical industry need to fulfill a lot of obligations than the textile industry. So when all the above factors are available, we can set up an industry at that place. Some industries like electronic and automobile industry should be set up in cities because cities are well connected with roads, railways, waterways, etc. Cities are close to market, that is, they demand. That means cities have much demand of electronic and automobile industry. Industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. It means, what is the meaning of industrialization, students? Development of industries in a country or a region on a wide scale. And urbanization means the increase in the population proportion of people living in the towns and cities. How come this industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand? Cities provide markets and services such as banking, insurance, transport, labor, consultants, and financial advice, etc., to the industry. Many industries tend to come together to make use of advantages offered by the urban centers. This is known as agglomeration economies. So, when such an industries come together to come closure to make use of facilities available or provided by the cities. So these are referred to as agglomeration economies. So gradually a large industrial agglomeration takes place. That's why we can say industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. In the beginning, most of the industries were set up near the cities having seashores like Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai, etc., for overseas trade children. So that's all for today. Thank you, children.